This is ChestertonRadio.com.
Autolite and its 98,000 dealers bring you Mr. Herbert Marshall in tonight's presentation of Suspense.
Tonight, Autolite presents a new radio adaptation of one of the most famous suspense stories ever written, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Our star, Mr. Herbert Marshall.
Hello there, hello.
Well, mend my fences if it's not the senator. How's it look for you, Senator?
Going to cast your ballot tomorrow, Harlow?
Why, Senator, I'd no more forget to vote than forget to winterize my car. And now's the time to do it. Get the oil and grease changed, put in antifreeze, inspect the battery cable.
And check the spark plugs, too.
Right, Johnny Plug Check. The spark plugs are the very heart of your car's ignition system. And when they're right, your chances of starting, even in coldest weather, are better than ever.
Well, I'll visit my Autolite spark plug dealer, Harlow.
Do that, Senator, because he's the expert on cleaning and adjustment. And if replacements are needed, he'll recommend those world-famous ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs, either standard or resistor type. To quickly learn the location of your nearest Autolite spark plug dealer, phone Western Union by number and ask for operator 25. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite presents transcribed Frankenstein, starring Mr. Herbert Marshall, and hoping once again to keep you in suspense.
Victor.
Hello, Mary. The Reverend in?
Out in the garden as usual. Do you want me to call him?
No, thanks. I'll go out.
Well, all right. Tell him not to get too dirty. We're supposed to play croquet with the McDonald's at 5.
I'll tell him.
When's Elizabeth coming home?
Tomorrow or Tuesday, I think.
You'll both have to come over for dinner.
Love to Mary.
See you later.
Hi. Oh, you're just in time to give me a hand. Whew. Well, these Indian summers, hot, too sticky.
James, I got to talk to you.
Well, of course. What, anything wrong? You know, you haven't looked too good for the past month or so. Something on your mind?
Yes.
Oh, well, then. Well, let's go in the house. I'll get you a beer. We can talk.
No, not in the house. Do you mind if we walk?
Oh, of course not. Oh, wait a moment. I my pipe over there. There we are. Might get some rain. Hope so. I won't have to play croquet. That's nothing, game.
James?
Oh, look now, we're friends. You know you can speak to me. What's the matter? One of your patients die? You made a mistake, perhaps?
No, nothing like that. Perhaps it's worse. I'm not sure.
Has it anything to do with Elizabeth going away?
In a way, yes.
Oh. My favorite place. You know, Victor, I think of most of my sermons standing here looking across the valley. Lovely, isn't it? Got a match? Oh, thanks.
Listen, I've been doing an experiment. It's very complicated. And I've almost finished.
Well, that's wonderful.
I think I'm a little afraid of it. I don't know. I've tried to think it out myself. I can't find the answer.
Go on.
You believe in God, don't you?
Oh.
I mean, because I don't go to church, you don't think that I don't believe, do you?
I don't think that at all. You're a good man.
I want you to promise me something. You've got to promise that you'll never breathe a word of what I'm about to tell you.
You have my word.
You swear?
I don't usually break my word.
Oh, I'm sorry. Look, I've made something. It's tremendous. It's impossible. But I think I've done it. And it goes against everything you believe, James.
What have you done?
I've made a thing.
I don't understand.
I put it together. Heart, brain, nerves, muscle, everything. I've done it. Now do you understand? A complete body.
And you're upset because of that? You think that you've done something wrong?
But
You're a surgeon. If what you've done will help to save a life, if you've learned more about the human body, this experiment can't be wrong. It can only do good. Oh, I shouldn't worry.
last night, I made it move. I'm not certain, but I think I can give it life. Absolute life. Now do you see why I'm afraid? I've created a man.
I'd better call Mary. She'll be worried.
All right, but...
I won't say anything. Hello. Mary? No, I'm with Victor. Listen, dear, I'm afraid we'll have to put off the McDonald's. Yes, I know. Well, Mary, I have something very important to discuss with Victor. It can't wait. Yes, dear. No, don't wait supper. I'll have something over here. Yes, I will. Goodbye.
You don't have to see this thing if you don't want to, James.
What is it?
In my lab. I had an addition built on. I'm the only one who has a key.
I don't say I believe what you've told me, but how do you know you can make it live? I mean, is it anything more than galvanic action?
You'll see.
I lock it.
I always do.
Oh. Is that the addition over there?
Yes.
Dark.
There aren't any windows. It's better that way. Before I show you, I want to explain. This is what started it. It was mostly an accident. One of the kids brought in his dog. It had been run over, killed. He wouldn't believe it was dead. Expected me to bring it back. I gave it a shot in the heart. And then another with this stuff. A compound I've fooled with for a long time.
Yes?
The dog came back to life. Just for a moment.
How do you know the dog was dead?
No, it was. It had been for 2 hours. All that happened 3 years ago.
You've been experimenting on things ever since?
Yes.
It's wrong.
I don't know.
No, it's wrong.
You wanted to stay, James?
What are you going to do? Try to bring it to life?
I've got to. I've got to try.
Then why did you come to me?
I wanted to tell you. I had to tell someone you're my friend.
I'm a minister. I preach and believe in the Word of God.
Do you want to see it?
No, I don't, but I must.
It's not terrible to look at. I've done a pretty good job on it. But it isn't quite finished. I'm not quite done with the face.
Oh, my.
Well?
No, Victor. Bury it. Let it be at peace. Don't do it. Even if you can, and I can't imagine it possible, don't even try.
Do you realize what it would mean to me, to the world?
Standing here with you, looking at that, it's easy to imagine anything. I don't want to. Put it to rest, Victor. Forget it.
That's just it. I can't. Not until I find out, one way or the other. Watch.
What are you going to do?
I'm show you what happened last night.
I don't want to see. I don't care.
I know better.
Oh, listen to me, Victor. This mustn't go on. You've got to stop it.
Not yet. Not until I find out.
Does Elizabeth know what you're doing?
No.
Why did you send her away?
I didn't want her here when I made the last test.
Because you're ashamed. You know it's wrong. You know what she'd think.
I'm not ashamed. I think I'm a little frightened at the incredible greatness of what I've done. It's bigger than anything since the world began.
If it moves, if you prove your point to me, will you stop then? Will you destroy it? The formulas, whatever papers you have, destroy all of it, will you?
I don't know. Hand me that hypodermic, will you?
No.
All right. There.
If I say I believe you, Victor, if...
You don't have to be afraid of it. It couldn't hurt you, you know. There's only enough of this stuff to stimulate a small portion of its brain.
I'm not afraid of it. I'm afraid for us all. I've never preached to you, Victor.
It moved its left foot last night. Then the right. I'm going to try the arm now. Move the light over, please. Thanks. Watch carefully. Only takes a few seconds. Now.
Look. It's hand.
I know. That's the way it was yesterday. The movement only lasts for a moment now. That's all.
I don't know what to say. I don't even think I understand what I've seen, except that it's terrible.
Because you don't understand, or because of what it means?
I'm afraid, if you like. I'm afraid for you, for what you've done. That thing lying there, you've got no right. I won't allow... What's that?
What?
Listen.
Stethoscope. It's impossible. There wasn't enough.
It's breathing, Victor. What have you done? The thing's alive.
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Herbert Marshall in Frankenstein. Tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Hello, who's this Johnny Plugcheck who's always electioneering about spark plugs?
Why, Senator, Johnny is a helpful hinter fighting Old Man Winter. He's the blithe reminder to wise motorists that now's the time to visit your Autolite spark plug dealer to get ready for the cold driving days ahead. Change the oil and grease, put in antifreeze, inspect the battery cable.
And check those important spark plugs, too.
Because when your spark plugs are right, your chances of starting, even in coldest weather, are better than ever.
And if my Autolite spark plug dealer finds my spark plugs need replacing, hello?
Why, if they're worn out, he'll recommend a set of the world-famous ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs, Senator, like the amazing Autolite resistor spark plug. It's one of the greatest advancements in spark plugs for automotive use in the past 20 years. When you have a set installed in your car, you'll get double spark plug life, smoother engine performance, and quick starts, as compared to spark plugs without a built-in resistor. So, friends, visit your Autolite spark plug dealer soon. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Herbert Marshall in Elliot Lewis's production of Frankenstein, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
be, that's it.
His eyes are open. What are you going to do?
Now, listen to his heart again.
It's got to be destroyed. You've got to put an end to it. It's inhuman. Don't you see what you're doing? You can't give it a soul.
No.
You can't give it...
How do you know what I can give it? I've given it life, haven't I? It sees, it breathes, moves, perhaps hears. Yes. Does it hear? Look, did you see that? It blinked, the head jerked. It hears. It's aware of sound. Does it feel pain?
Don't, Victor. It's not an animal. You formed it like a man. Give it the dignity of one. I won't let you do that to it.
I've gone this far, James.
Put down the scalpel.
What are you going to prove by that?
I think you must be mad.
I don't interfere with your work, James. Why?
There's someone at the door.
Yes. I think I'd better strap it down on the table. You won't forget your promise, will you?
I'm sorry I gave my word. I'm sorry you ever told me about this. I feel I'm as guilty as you are now.
Whatever took you so long? Hello, James.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Darling, I tried to call from the station, but the line's out of order.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. Did you have a nice time?
Lovely. Everybody sends their love.
That's good.
What have you two been up to? How's Mary, James?
Oh, very well, thank you.
What a fine pair of sober-sides you are. What did you do, darling? Break one of my good dishes? I knew I shouldn't have left you alone. Well, what are we standing in the hall for? Let's go into the
Elizabeth, I must be going. Mary will be wondering, particularly if the phone's out of order.
It's raining very hard.
No, I'll be all right.
You take an umbrella. There's one in the kitchen.
Are you going to tell her?
No,
You won't unstrap it from the table, will you?
not yet.
All right, I'll try to come back later. I want to think.
About what?
You've changed since you came to see me this afternoon. You really don't care what I think now, do you?
I suppose not. Thanks anyway, James.
Are you going to let it live?
That's funny from you. Have I the right to kill it?
You've already done something you had no right to do. Something that you don't even understand. The creation of man isn't your job, it isn't mine. Oh, I know your bright scientific mind's laughing
Here's
at me.
the umbrella, James. But I wish you'd wait until the storm blows over.
No, I really must get back. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'll return it tomorrow. Goodbye.
Well, what's the matter with him? Have you been arguing religion again, Victor?
No, dear. Look, I'm doing a little work in the lab. It's rather important. Would you mind?
What is going on, Victor? There's something.
No, dear, nothing at all. There is...
I know there is. What's the matter?
Nothing, dear, really. I've got to get back to work now. are a man. Do you understand? Here. This is a mirror. You can see yourself in it. Look. It's all right. It's all right. It's angry. Oh, he doesn't show anger in his face. There's emotion, though. It sees ugliness and is afraid. I'll have to get it back on the table, put it to sleep. That's the best way. He'll use a stronger strap, a chain. The eyes, just staring. He's seen watery. What a marvel it is, though. I want you to come over here and sit down. Do you hear me? Come here and sit down. Come here. No, don't touch that. No, stop it. Stop it. Put it down. It's in here, hiding, waiting for me. I'm afraid. I should have destroyed it. James was right. What's the matter with this flashlight? Wet. That's better. What's that? In the corner. I won't hurt you. It's all right. I understand. I won't hurt you. Don't be frightened. It's going to be all right. You'll hardly feel this. It won't hurt. Did you shoot it?
I'm not sure. I might have hit it. I don't know.
It's gone.
Yes, are you? Victor. Victor. Oh, Victor. He never recovered consciousness again. Outside, I looked for the thing I'd shot at, but there was no sign of it. I returned to the lab and burnt every paper, destroyed every single evidence of Victor Frankenstein's terrible experiment. But the result of that experiment has never been found, nor have I been able yet to convince the authorities that such a thing ever existed.
Suspense. Presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Mr. Herbert Marshall.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for Autolite, world's largest independent manufacturer of automotive electrical equipment. Autolite is proud to serve the greatest names in the industry. They are members of the Autolite family, as well as other 98,000 Autolite distributors and dealers in the United States and thousands more in Canada and throughout the world. Our family also includes the nearly 30,000 men and women in 28 great Autolite plants from coast to coast and Autolite plants in many foreign countries, as well as the 18,000 people who have invested a portion of their savings in Autolite. Every Autolite product is backed by constant research and precision built to the highest standards of quality and performance. So remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
Next week, a story based on fact, terrifying in its truth. The dramatic report of a man returning home to find he now lives in a frightened city. Our star, Mr. Frank Lovejoy. The program will be heard on Suspense. Tonight's story was adapted for Suspense by Anthony Ellis. Suspense is transcribed and directed by Elliot Lewis. Music was written by Lucian Morwick and conducted by Lud Gluskin.
This is Chesterton Radio, your home for podcasts of works by G.K. Chesterton, plus drama, comedy, mystery, science fiction, big bands, and much more. The soundtrack to your Chesterton day at chestertonradio.com.
We bring you The Witch's Tale, written and produced by Alonzo Dean Cole. let us join old Nancy, witch of Salem, and Satan, her wise black cat.
And 11-year-old I be today. Yes, sir, 111-year-old. We'll Satan. Here, all these folks be gathered to hear one of our pretty little bedtime stories. And tonight, we're gonna tell 'em one that's become famous all over the world. You're right, Satan. A woman named Mary Shelley once writ this yarn of ourn in a book. But she, nor no one else, never knowed the true facts of the case but me. Douse out them lights. Setting in the spooky shadows is the way to hear our pretty tales. Now, draw up to the fire and gaze into them bars. Gaze into 'em deep, and soon you'll be with us in Switzerland. Soon you'll hear our yarn of Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
I'm coming. Don't break the door down. Who is it?
Hi, Professor Walton.
Oh, just a minute.
Oh, good evening, Madame Maurice.
Good evening. Raining cats and dogs. Step inside so I can close this door.
Yes, Madame Maurice.
Oh, you're letting that wet umbrella drip all over my clean floor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You men of science. But I suppose I should be used to such carelessness after keeping house for Victor Frankenstein.
Oh, he's a very young scientist, Madame Maurice. Just wait until he reaches my age.
You make me shudder.
Where is our Victor? In his laboratory?
Is he ever anywhere else? Doesn't even come out for his meals anymore. What is he doing in there, Professor, that he's so mysterious about?
I don't know any more than you do. Our Victor is a genius, and genius shares its secrets with no one.
Professor Walton, I'm worried about that boy. In the last 6 months, he's changed terribly.
Changed?
Yes. He thinks of nothing but this work of his. You know how much he loves his fiancée, Elizabeth. Yet 3 times he's postponed their marriage because it wasn't finished. And I'm afraid of whatever he's doing. I feel it is unholy.
Madame Maurice.
Unholy, I tell you. It forbids me to enter that laboratory of his. But he can't close up my ears. At night I hear frightful sounds from there. Cries of animals in pain. And then from him who has always been so kind. Insane shouts of triumph. And I've seen the things brutish-looking men bring in this house. Hideous things from the slaughterhouses and the morgues. Last week, the public executioner was here. He brought the body of that robber who was beheaded in the square.
There is no need for you to worry. However disgusting the tools he employs, you may be sure the object of Victor's work is to benefit mankind.
I hope you're right, but shh. He's coming from the laboratory. Hear him lock the door behind him? From the care he takes, one would think that room was filled with gold.
Good evening, Victor.
Oh, Professor Walton. I'm so glad you received my message and came at once. Oh, Madam Moritz, get your hat and cloak. I will send you to your sisters.
In this awful storm?
Oh, is there a storm?
Is there a storm?
Well, then you must call a cab. I'm sorry, but Professor Waldman and I must have the house alone. This is the night for which I've worked so long. The night on which I'll finish the crowning achievement of the ages.
Victor, you are trembling with excitement.
What have you done?
Tomorrow all Switzerland shall know. My name shall ring throughout the world. And you shall know first, dear Madam Moritz. But tonight you must go. You must go now.
You mean your work is ended?
Yes.
There will be no more dead bodies coming through that door. No more horrors from the
No,
slaughterhouse.
that's over. Now go. Go.
I'm going. Even though I catch my death of cold in this awful storm, it'll be worth it.
Go. Please go.
Victor, what have you discovered?
Wait till she's out of hearing. She wouldn't understand.
She's gone. What is it?
Come and see. Come into the laboratory. Professor Waldman, In the putrescence of death, I have wrested the secret of life.
Life?
Yes. I, Victor Frankenstein, have created man. Look at him there. Bit by bit, I fashioned him. His organs, his limbs, his brain, his external flesh.
A beautiful sleeping giant.
But sleeping only until I give him life. Now the time has come. That's why I sent for you, old teacher. You pointed out the path.
I know nothing of this.
Yes, you sent me to the ancients for forgotten knowledge. Through them I learned of magic and the hidden truths of nature. But I have gone beyond the ancients. In a moment I shall make a man. I shall be as God.
You blaspheme.
Why? To the race of whom this giant will be father, Frankenstein will be God's name.
Stop!
No, for I am greater than your Lord.
You're mad.
Bah! What is this puny human tribe which he created? They must have delicate foods, long hours of rest. They're weak, decadent, scourged with sickness, a prey to heat and cold. Compared to this child of Frankenstein's great genius, men are flies living out a summer day. Look at him there, 8 feet tall, a mountain of strength, immune to weather, illness, and fatigue, with a brain that will grasp in a single hour all that man must take a year to learn. This machine will give him life. I pull the lever. Watch!
No, don't!
In a moment he will breathe, and I shall have improved on nature. I shall have improved on God.
The giant's flesh grows warm. There's pulsation in his veins.
Soon he'll rise and walk.
Great God!
No, great Frankenstein.
Victor, the beautiful contours of his body are changing.
What?
His flesh is shriveling like a mummy's.
Becoming ugly. Misshapen.
You are creating a horror.
The machine, I'll turn it off.
Too late, he breathes. His voice. He lives. May God forgive you, Frankenstein. You've made a monster.
I can't go back into that house. I can't look at him again.
You must. You should not have fled from him an hour ago. You are responsible for him. You are his creator.
You're right. I am the great God Frankenstein. But how could he have changed so as I gave him life? I planned a thing of beauty. It produced a loathsome horror.
Man cannot usurp the prerogatives of God. Let us go in.
All right. Oh, why should I fear him? His frightfulness may be only that of an exterior that I, in some way, marred. I gave him a brain capable of the most lofty thoughts, the noblest actions. Why, it's going to be all right. In the body of a fiend may be the nature of an angel. I planned his nature so.
Victor, the laboratory door is open. He has burst the locks.
His giant strength.
He's gone.
Mr. Waldman, what is that lying in the shadows?
It's Madame Moritz.
She didn't go to her sister's. She saw him. She fainted of fright.
Victor, she is dead.
No, no!
Her throat has been crushed by giant hands. The monster killed her.
Oh. No. I, the great God Frankenstein.
Well, my boy, how does it feel to be on your feet again? Not bad after a year in bed, I'll wager.
A year has passed since that awful night.
Ah, here now. I forbid you to speak of that just yet.
Oh, I'm quite strong now. And we must talk, Professor. This is the first opportunity I've had to be with you alone.
Careful, Victor. Elizabeth is in the next room, and your mother.
They don't know.
No one knows but you and me. They think your ravings of the monster simply figments of delirium. And you have been quite mad, you know.
Yes. Mercifully mad. Till a week ago, the darkness lifted from my brain to let me remember and to fear. What other crimes is the thing I made committed since you brought me here? Where is he? You must tell me.
You have nothing to fear, Victor. The monster is dead.
Dead?
Yes.
You're not lying to me. You're not lying just to ease my mind.
No. During the week after his disappearance, he was seen in several villages, and the superstitious farmers took him for a demon from another world. At last he was fired upon and wounded. A trail of his blood was traced to the edge of a mountain chasm 1,000 feet in depth. We shall never hear of him again.
He's really dead. Oh, oh, I feel as though the weight of time itself were lifted from my shoulders. I'm free again. My nightmare is over. There's nothing more to fear.
Victor, darling.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Come in, my dear.
I hope you'll forgive my intrusion. I heard Victor's voice, and it sounded so different, so happy. I simply had to come in and see him.
Oh, I am happy, dearest. I shall be happy forevermore.
You will be even happier if left with Elizabeth alone. Oh, I know, young lover.
Oh, really, Professor?
I'll see you later.
Elizabeth. Dearest sweetheart.
Oh, how good it is to see you yourself again. You've been so ill, so close to death.
But now I have returned to life. And to you forever.
You mean until you go away again? Back to your studies, your experiments?
No, my studies are over. My experiments are ended.
Victor!
I shall never enter a laboratory again. There will be no more postponements of our wedding.
Then I shall have you all my own. For always.
Always.
Oh, my dear. You don't know how happy that will make me. I've been so jealous of the science which kept you from me. It seemed to keep you from even God.
I have come back to you. And God.
Elizabeth? Oh, your mother is calling me. I must tell her. Perhaps we can be married right away.
Tomorrow, if possible.
How I love you.
How I love you.
Elizabeth! A coming, Mother Frankenstein. Oh, I'm so happy.
And happy. Happy. Happy! There's nothing now to fear.
You're
There's
wrong, Frankenstein.
You! Alive!
Yes, I. The monster you created.
And Satan, these folks has got to wait till next time to hear the finish of this pretty yarn. Then we'll tell 'em some true facts about this Frankenstein and his monster that'll make their hair curl.
We bring you The Witch's Tale, written and produced by Alonzo Dean Cole. And now let us join old Nancy and her black cat, Satan.
102-year-old I be today. Yes, sir, 102-year-old. Well, Satan, if these folks will just douse out them lights and make it nice and dark, we'll finish telling them that pretty story we begun last time they was here. We already told them how that scientist fella discovered the secret of life and made a monstrous, ugly giant whose first act was to strangle our old lady. Then he disappeared, and the fellow who made him thought he'd been killed. Until a year later, he heard the giant's awful voice a-calling him. Now draw up to the fire and gaze into the embers. Gaze into 'em deep and hear the rest of our yarn about Frankenstein. Frankenstein!
I'll follow to this desolate place as you bade me. What do you want of me?
To show you my home, Frankenstein. This barren cave up on the mountainside, exposed to the winds and howling beasts. Here I, the monster you created, live, whilst you reside in comfort. I want to show you my solitude, whilst you are planning marriage.
I thought you dead.
You made me too strong. The fall you had had killed me, could not destroy my body. I simply disappeared from man because man has shut me out. Even you cannot bear to look at my repulsive being. Even you, my maker. You, my God.
God. Great God, Frankenstein.
Yes, when you made me, so you called yourself.
How did you learn that I was your creator?
Upon that night when I first knew life, you fled from the horror you'd given breath from me. I was naked, it was cold. I wrapped a cloak of yours about me. There were papers in his pocket. When I learned to read, I found those papers were your notes of my creation. A pretty tale they told of how you made me from the refuse of the slaughterhouse and morgue. I'm partly man and partly beast. You owe me recompense for the awful life with which I am cursed. That is why I summoned you tonight, that you may pay your debt.
What do you wish?
The companion.
Companion?
Yes, Frankenstein. Oh, I hate you, yet I love you, for you're all I have. Take pity on the thing you made, for I am lonely, with a hunger that no man can ever know.
You want me for your companion?
No, you no more than other men can bear to look upon my frightfulness. Give me a creature as loathsome as myself, one who will not turn from me to hide its eyes in horror.
You mean create another monster?
Yes, for everything upon this earth excepting me, there is a mate. Of my breed, I am Adam. Frankenstein, make me an Eve.
Eve? A female?
Yes.
No.
Yes, you planned marriage. Why not I?
No. Why, you might loose upon the world a race of monsters. A race who would destroy mankind.
I swear we'll do no harm, Frankenstein. I beg.
Never. I presume no more upon the powers of heaven. I experiment no longer with the mysteries of God.
You will not create for me a mate?
No, 1,000 times.
Yet you yourself will take one? Beware, you made me strong. I can crush you like a shell.
I'm not afraid of you. Only of life's secrets I have already probed too deep. I will not do the thing you ask.
Then die!
Strike!
No! I spare you now. At the hour of your greatest happiness, I will strike. Straight to your heart, Frankenstein. Wait and hear, for I'll be with you on your wedding night. On your wedding night.
Victor, how can you be so sad tonight when all our dreams have just come true?
Oh, I'm not sad, dearest. Well, how could I be when at last you are my wife?
Victor, you're keeping something from me.
No.
You are. Professor Walton has been acting strangely, too. And the grounds outside are filled with strange men who look as though they were policemen standing guard. You have nothing to fear, my darling. No enemy who would harm you on our wedding night?
Oh, of course not, darling. Why, what could I be afraid of on our wedding night?
Victor Frankenstein.
Oh, yes. I'll let you in, Professor Waldman.
Victor, come with me at once. Oh, excuse me, Elizabeth. I must speak to your husband alone.
What is all this mystery?
It's nothing, dear. Now, you stay here. I'll explain everything when I return.
Hurry, Victor.
Yes. Excuse me, dear.
But Victor, darling.
Close the door tightly. She must not
Master.
hear.
You see the master?
The police have him surrounded.
Good.
Come on.
No, wait. He's cunning. I can't leave Elizabeth in that room alone.
It is you he's threatened to strike, not her, and we have him in a net. He cannot get away.
And leave me to him. At last, let me destroy the awful thing my hands have made. Elizabeth!
Quick, back to that room.
Oh, God, keep her safe. The door is locked.
Burst it open.
Elizabeth! She's lying crumpled on the floor.
That open window. The monster.
Straight to your heart, Frankenstein. Straight to your heart.
Elizabeth. She's dead.
So, Frankenstein, you tracked me down.
You fiend of hell! Stand out from those rocks where I can see you.
So you may aim at my breast that pistol which you carry. Very well.
I have you now!
Not yet! You forget how fast I move.
Let me go!
Oh, did you think to destroy me with weapons such as this? I, whom you made superior to the puny race of men, I throw your pistol into yonder chasm. And I release you unhurt and unharmed.
Some way, sometime with another weapon, I shall bring you death. Tonight you have killed the woman I love best in all the world. On her broken body, I have sworn to live for your destruction.
I told you I'd strike you to the heart. You thought I meant your heart of flesh, your body. There was a better way. I've turned your happiness to misery.
Oh, God, great Lord of all, destroy this monster.
You are my God. You, my Lord of all. Listen, my father. As you denied me the comradeship of one frightful as myself, now you are denied a mate. As you condemned me to a life of solitude and sorrow, now you are condemned. You've sworn to live for my destruction, you have said. Your hate will make you follow me across the world. Through the sun-scorched desert and the icy plain, you know heat and cold and thirst and hunger, to which I, your creature, am immune. How well you made me, great God Frankenstein. You'll follow me across the world. I always just ahead, you always just behind, until your body racked by age and sorrow, we will reach the end. Now I go, and you will follow.
I will follow to your death.
To the death of both. For you and I henceforth are one.
Oh, across the way. 3 points starboard.
Castaway here in the Arctic Circle.
Aye, sir. Take this glass. It's a man on a floating block of ice, probably broke away from the mainland, sir.
Gad, a white man, 1,000 miles from humankind.
Some explorer, probably, like ourselves.
Yes, who's lost his party. He may be a companion of that strange giant we saw in the distance a week ago.
If we can get him, sir?
We'll try. Man the longboat.
All hands up, man the longboat. Cross the way, cross the way.
It's a strange story you tell, Mr. Frankenstein. You've pursued this man for 40 years.
Not a man, a monstrous fiend. Over mountain and desert, ocean and plain, in the fells of Africa, here to the Arctic Circle I have followed. I always just behind, he always just ahead. 40 years I have known no home, no friend, only solitude, misery, and an empty dream of vengeance. Now I'm dying. I can pursue no longer.
There, man. 5 days on that ice floe didn't do you any good. But our ship's doctor will soon have you on your feet and as good as new. What you need now is lots of rest, so I'll leave you until morning. Good night, Mr. Frankenstein.
Good night, Captain. Rest. Lots of rest.
Yes, my father. I crept aboard the ship when darkness fell.
I expected you. for we have reached the end.
Yes, a God as miserable as is Adam, and Adam as sorrowful as is God.
Sorrowful because your vengeance is over.
No, Frankenstein. At the end, there is no longer heart for vengeance. All things cease. All things begin again. You're dying. The son cannot survive the parent. Let me lift you in my arms.
Carry me to the deck.
Gently, tenderly I bear you, for you're all I've had to love. All I've had to hate. Frankenstein, forgive me at the end.
I forgive. And forgiveness beg. Beneath these icy waters, let there be one grave for both.
You and I, creator and created.
My presumption and your misery.
We're at the rail. The waters wait below.
Let us find peace together. Now.
The end.
The end.
And them's the true facts about the story of Frankenstein. Come see us next week, and Satan and me'll have another yarn to spin you.
Weird circle. In this cave by the restless sea, we are met to call from out of the past stories, strange and weird. Bellkeeper, toll the bell, so that all may know we are gathered again in the Weird Circle.
The past, phantoms of a world gone by, speak again the immortal tale, Frankenstein.
The wind howling outside my lonely home is my only companion. All else is quiet here. as I sit by my window in the parlor, writing this document for the scientific world. Be warned, you doctors and scientists who come after me. Be warned that man must not experiment with the secrets of life. My experiences started in the University of Manchester, where I was studying natural history. It was after class, May 22nd, 1818, that Professor Waldman, my close dear friend Henry Clerval, and myself were in the laboratory of the university.
Victor Frankenstein, your persistence amazes me. Someday I shall sit at your feet and allow you to teach me.
Thank you, Professor Waldman. But the whole subject of the structure of man has always been too clouded in mysticism.
Well, frankly, Victor, I prefer mysticism.
Well, that's because you're a mystic, Henry.
Why, Henry's no more a mystic than I am. He just loves to avoid arduous work.
Oh, translating that means I'm lazy, eh, Professor?
If you prefer to put it that way, I rather think of you as a student whose nervous structure does not take kindly to natural history.
The professor's kinder to you than you are to yourself, Henry.
Well, if I worked as hard as you do, Victor, I should probably wear that same gaunt, sleepless look that you carry about.
Well, my experiment will be finished tonight. And then I'll manage the 8 hours sleep that other men manage.
The secret experiment will be finished tonight, huh?
Well, then, will you tell us just exactly what you're doing in the basement at home?
I'll tell the entire world. As a matter of fact, I stayed after class this afternoon, Professor Waldman, to ask you to join me this evening in the basement of our place to watch the completion of my work.
Oh. Well, how about me?
I don't think I dare invite more than one, Henry. And the professor is more interested in this type of procedure than you are.
I shall be delighted, Victor.
Just the best friend who never knows what's going on in his own home, that's all.
It's not that, Henry. But I thought you'd entertain Elizabeth for me, while the professor and I were at work.
Entertaining Elizabeth will be a delightful favor, old boy. You know, I think you trust me too much with her. Have you ever met Victor's fiancée, Professor Waldman? She's one of the most charming...
Yes, Elizabeth was one of the most charming, beautiful women I'd ever known. I had been in love with her from childhood, but even my love for Elizabeth couldn't dim my passionate zeal for the work I was doing. It was 8 o'clock that evening. Henry, Elizabeth, and I were seated in the parlor. Elizabeth was saying...
I'll be so glad, Victor, darling, when all this is over. If you only knew how tired you look.
The minute my work is done, successfully or unsuccessfully, I promise you, Elizabeth, we'll be married and off to Switzerland before Henry has time to lock up this place.
But first, we find out about the secret in the basement.
Henry's being eaten up by curiosity.
I don't blame him. I'm suffering pangs of what's it all about, too.
Well, you'll both know soon. I wonder where Professor Waldman is. He's late.
He'll be here soon, Victor. Stop pacing the floor, sweetheart.
I think I'll start my work downstairs. Send the professor down when he arrives, will you, darling?
We'll come down ourselves and take a look around. Or will I turn into a pillar of salt for peeking?
Nobody ever turned into a pillar of salt for peeking, Beth. It was for looking back.
Oh, nothing like a good practical working knowledge of the Bible for scientific experiments. Starts the night off right.
Yes, I thought jokingly of that paragraph from the Bible then. And she was turned into a pillar of salt. But what about a man who looks back? There is no ready reference for him or for me. I went downstairs to my laboratory at a little past 8, opened the door, and started to tinker around to pass the time more quickly. My every sense was alive, taut, waiting, with the sense of what was to come. I heard a knock on the side door, which led me from my laboratory directly into the forest, which bordered Manchester. I looked out and...
Good evening, Victor.
Oh, did Elizabeth tell you to come down this way, Professor?
No, I found the entrance to your laboratory quite by myself.
I help you with your coat, sir?
No. You proceed with your work. Nothing like trivialities to annoy a scientist at work. There we are.
Oh, follow me, Professor, into the back room, and you'll see for yourself what this is all about.
Well, I feel that I'm in for a most exhilarating evening. I wish I had more students fashioned in your mold, Victor.
Well, Professor, here is my...
Why, what's this? A full-sized replica of a man.
Yes. Only he isn't full-sized. He's fashioned on a grander scale. I should say this creature standing up would be approximately 8 feet 2 inches tall.
Well, you should have been an artist, Victor. He's a perfect reproduction. What did you make him out of? Wood? Clay?
Animal flesh.
Flesh?
Feel him.
Oh, feels like the body of a dead man.
or the body of a man who hasn't as yet been brought to life. This body is complete in every detail. Heart, lungs, teeth, even the fine nervous system.
Interesting. Yes, interesting. How about the brain cells?
Yes, adult brain cells. I think he's quite handsome, don't you?
Well, each man to his own taste. He's the best reproduction of a man I've ever seen, but actually his face is hideous.